Hi guys, what we covered in our last session was to adding integers. In this session what we're going to cover is subtracting integers. But before we move on to subtracting of integers, I wanted to go through a review of what we covered in the last class. So the last example that we had two examples. I'm going to show or review the harder of the two examples, which was 3 plus negative 2. Okay, so the first step that what we covered was we started on the number line, the 3 number line. We start at 3, and then because we have a positive, we're adding, we're going towards the positive, or we're facing the positive direction. Okay, and then because we have a negative integer, we go the opposite direction, and I want to make that emphasize on that opposite direction. So whenever you get a negative, you're pretty much going the opposite direction. Okay, I'd rather use that than saying going to the negative. So whenever you see a negative integer, just remember it flips, inverts, or moves or faces the opposite direction. So it goes from positive to negative. Okay, so that's the reason why we start at 3 moving towards the negative direction. So because we're facing now the negative direction, we are now moving 2 units, because the CR says 2 there. Now we're moving 2 units, 1, 2, and our answer is 1, positive 1. So it ends up on positive 1. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next example. So that was pretty much what I was going to repeat there. So what should we learn or understand from what I just covered now? The most important thing, because this is what we really do need to understand in our next exercise, which is 3C, when we're subtracting integers. And the most important thing that we need to know is when we are dealing with negative integers, okay, we move or face the opposite direction. So that's what we're going to cover in the next exercise. Righty. Now, subtracting of integers, I've made this as an example. I actually do believe that when we do examples, we'll better understand what we're covering. So, so we have a positive 2. So to take away or subtract a negative 3. So the first step that what we do is we start at 2. So that's our first step. So we start at 2, okay? And then we subtract, which means that we face the negative direction. So that's why we're facing the negative direction, okay? Now, because of this negative integer, we go from negative, we go the opposite direction, which is facing the positive direction. We're facing this way, okay? And how many units do we do that? We do it 3 units. So pretty much we've got our little bird here. Now it's facing the positive direction, and we're moving how many units? 3 units towards 1, 2, 3, and that's where we land. So their answer is 5. As you probably can see, that a negative and a negative in the middle pretty much makes a positive, because this becomes 2 plus 3, which is 5. Okay. I think that's about it. Now I just want you guys to do a bit of practicing and and I'll answer any of your questions during class time. Thank you for watching.